It's been a long time since we were last out of the White March, and unfortunately the first place we're going to is Heritage Hill. We have a curse to lift from Kana's weapon, a weapon he pulled out of a sword and a stone under a waterfall that's full of wailing souls. As cursed weapons tend to be, it's pretty standard. Hey folks, it's Kikoskia here, and welcome back to Let's Play Pillars of Eternity, and when last we left off, we have the minor matter of dealing with the Grey Sleeper. It seems to be a pretty decent weapon, because it has the ability to cast Paralyze on hit or critical hit, 10% chance. The only problem is we can't unequip it. But I think we can get closer to figuring out how to by going to the device... Oh, door closed. By going to the device that is at the top of this tower in Heritage Hill. Also, there's this that has in it some camping supplies. They might be useful if we need to rest. And we might need to rest because we did use a couple of spells getting to the Grey Sleeper.
Following your
thinking about it, we might as well do that. Yep, you can do it even when Aloth is running past you. Alright, let's pop into here. And then head up. Shouldn't take too long. Gotta click the door specifically. There shouldn't be any new enemies in here. Shouldn't be anyone in here. We dealt with the whole thing in Heritage Hill. But you never know. Okay, stairs are over there. Been a while since I've been in here. Been a long while. It was quite a trek up. Let's go to the top. And let's see what happens. You are still here. Is there anything I can interact with at all? Apparently not.
Yes?
Still and silent.
Following your lead.
It's finally over.
Why can't I interact with this? I'm curious. If I rest, will that trigger something? Let's rest. It'll trigger the second part of the White March, but will it allow me to now do this? As you sleep, you are buoyed and buffeted by the vagaries of dreams. They tumble and thrash about you and fill your mind's eye with pale, glittering motes. They resolve into a light snowfall and a biting northerly wind. You recognize the mountains of the White March rising around you, and you shiver. You see Stalwart a few miles away, quiet and still, but for a few curling streams of smoke rising from the chimneys. Durgan's battery is perched above it, its shadow stretching into the valley. Above it all, you hear a deep, slow rhythm. At first, it sounds like a distant drumming. Then it grows louder, cracking through the dry air and booming from the mountain peaks. It builds until you feel it reverberating beneath your feet. Let's watch and listen. Each thud comes louder and faster than the next. Thunder echoes from the mountain tops as great sheets of ice and snow tumble down the slopes. But the rhythm keeps building, shattering frozen lakes like crystal saucers. New ravines split through the mountains as old chasms fill with snow and scree. A rock slide buries Stalwart, and Durgan's battery is shaken to rubble. Shadows rise over the mountains, the vanguard of a massive army. You flee. You tumble from the foothills and bound across the deerwood, feeling the rumble of the advancing army all the while. We will barricade ourselves in Caed Nua. Caed Nua rises from the forest, its mended walls reaching out to you like a pair of strong arms. You barricade yourself within the great hall as the pounding grows closer still. It rattles the foundations of the great keep, and just as the masonry begins shaking loose, you hear an unholy battle cry coming from your courtyard. The ceiling collapses and sends a cascade of bricks and beams onto your head. You struggle to wakefulness, kicking at bedding knotted around your legs. As you shake free of the last bonds of sleep, you hear a voice whisper something in a language you've never heard, and you see an image of 100 shifting, staring eyes. You awaken, feverishly warm, covered in sweat. Well, that's not good at all! That's terrible. And this still isn't doing anything.
Following your lead.
I
I'm
wonder.
here.
I wonder. Do I have to go to a different one? Let's go to the bottom. That isn't doing anything. Could I go to the one at the very beginning? I could, couldn't I? The one all the
I'd be
way
glad to.
at the start of my journey. That could be one I could visit. Or I'd have to go to Cleoban Relag, which isn't the best place for me to go, because it's quite out of the way, but I'll do it if I have to. Also, we have started the White March Part 2. We go to the White March, Starwatt Village, that story will continue. And those eyes in my dream are not encouraging. Are they the eyeless? Looking into my mind? Have the actions that we performed in Durgan's Battery roused that ancient threat once more? I don't know.
I'm here.
What I do know is we're not going to be going there for some time. Also, there was an army, which I'm concerned about. Is that the army of the Eyeless? I don't know. Let's go to Sealant Lease. It'll take 2 days to get there. 2 days. Can I interact with this? Yes, I can!
I'm here.
I had to select one that was active. The S-Dock seems to hum as it nears the Engwithan machine. Something arcs between the steel blade and the Ardra core of the ancient device. The voices in the S-Dock grow quieter, and the weapon feels more powerful. New writing appears along the blade. It now has grants slow spirits 3 times per rest. Foe AoE, minus 60% attack speed, minus 2.5 move speed for 15 seconds. That's really good. And we have a new verse. It blazes from the metal. It reads, "Find the sun-kissed hillocks where the dead folk sleep. Rest beside their wasting flesh. Inspect what dreams you reap." That's telling me to go to a graveyard. There are a number of graveyards in this game. And there's one that's not too far away in the Eastern Wood. There's also one in Heritage Hill. But there's one in the Eastern Wood, and that's only 22 hours away. Let's go there. We also want to go to Caed Nua at some point and grab
At once.
all the stuff from the chest. The graveyard is right there. We just need to rest by it. And hopefully this will make the blade even stronger still. We also gain some experience for doing that. Not a huge amount, but we gain some. We have a lot more experience we need to get before we get to level 14. A lot more.
I'm here.
All this so that Kana can put down a cursed sword. That body's still there. So, if we rest here, this should fulfill the criteria of the next part of the verse. Let's save just in case. And we rest. The loamy soil squishes underfoot and something invisible seems to rise from it. You detect essence, faint and barely perceptible, drifting up from the graveyard. The grey sleeper seems to feed on it, and the strange voices grow quieter still. Another verse gleams in the steel. It now has a 5% chance to cast Invoke Vessels on hit or critical hit. Invoke Vessels summons 1 to 3 of a Dargul Ghoul Revenant Human Skeleton, or what? Whoa, that's pretty good! The final part of the poem shines along the blade. Fingers of the world, Ardra strong and whole, kneel before the pillars, bring order to your soul. I know where one of those is! It's right where we want to go. Caed Nua. There are fingers of Ardra coming out of the ground near the amphitheater, I believe. let's go to Caed Nua, grab all our stuff, and while we're there, hopefully deal with this curse. We got some more experience, by the way, for doing that. Or getting to the final bit. So, 24 hours. And just like that, we'll be done. And we have Hireling Payday again.
I must say, I'm impressed.
I'm impressed too that we were able to get rid of this curse so quickly. We are spending quite a bit of money on Hireling Payday, but we still have 53,000 money.
I'm here.
We don't have to worry. We also have a ton of items that are in our stockpile, which aren't doing anything. So, these here. These here. One of them we can interact with. A deep and mighty power emanates from the Ardra Pillars. It resonates in the Grey Sleeper. Kneel. As you kneel, the voices in the Grey Sleeper reach a low, peaceful harmony. A final surge of energy fills the blade and the voices fall silent. You feel the curse snap like rotten cord. It is now a superb weapon and has a 5% chance to cast Twin Stones on hit. Foe target, 20 crush damage. Whoa! That's really good. That's really good. 2 final lines appear along the blade of the S-Talk. A penance now complete, a burden now a gift. Keep this weapon at your side to remind you of your shrift. Shrift? That is a word I have never seen before. What is that word? I'm curious. We'll look that up. Shrift means confession, specifically to a priest, or absolution. Interesting. Also, Curse of the Cold Clay completed. Cassandra travelled from Hangman's Abbey to the Bay of Crowns, investigating the various reports of vampire appearances. In each case, Cassandra discovered that the grave sites had elaborate glass, copper, and Ardra devices buried around them. The distinctive intricacy of the devices was traced to a Valian dwarf that had been shunned for his unpleasant practices in Salona and Ansons. When captured, the dwarf claimed his intent was not to create vampires, but to restore life. The vampires were created due to the dwarf's inability to solve a fundamental problem with his machinery. The incredible frequency of the dwarf's activity was not due to co-conspirators, but rather his extensive use of drugs that kept him awake and frantic for days on end. Once confronted, the dwarf put up no fight and allowed himself to be taken into custody. When Cassandra left him, he was awaiting trial at Telenir. And we got an item. Remembrance of Life's Warmth. Has 3 uses, gives endurance, and more endurance. Is it meant to say endurance twice? I don't know. That item seems a little bit odd in the effects there. This curious device, created by a deranged dwarven animancer, has the ability to cast the druid spell Garden of Life. Fair enough. Okay, so you can now unequip this sword. Now, comparing this sword to this sword... So, they deal the same amount of damage. The Grey Sleeper has... Okay, this has speed and marking. So, it has more attack speed and 10 accuracy to anyone that it's attacking. But this has so many interesting effects, like paralyze, which means they can't do anything for 6 seconds. I'm going to keep this sword here for now. In our... Or... I could do that. And you could use Good Friend. So I'm pretty sure that's going to be better than what you... This is an exceptional crossbow. This is a... Oh, it's only a fine crossbow. Well... If I could enchant that and make it into an exceptional one, I could! Then it would be better than what you're currently using. You know what? Let's. It is now exceptional, which means it's better than what you're using. Excellent.
I'm here.
It's Costs some money, but that's fine. With that, we're going to pop into our stronghold. We got some experience, by the way, for dealing with the curse. Still got a long way to go, though. A long way to go. And we still have the people who are pretending to complain and protest outside our fortress. And we still have the person in our fortress going, you really should be dealing with that noble that wants your castle.
I'd be glad to.
Yeah, I'll deal with it later. And by later, I mean much, 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 much later. Marshal forward. Much later. Okay,
I'm here.
what's in here? The answer is a huge amount of stuff. We have 1,333 copper pans, 283 of this. The codex. Yep, that's a pet. If that's a pet, can we literally have a book as a pet? Hang on, can we have that? Yes, I can. I can have a book as a pet.
I'm here.
Is it following me? Oh, I don't think the book's following me. Oh, that's a shame. Well, let's get our login for baby back out. There we go.
I'm here.
Okay, back into here. We have Ardra, Jasper. We have some worm wings, spear spider legs, Ardra stuff, binding copper, vessel bones, troll skin, lots of reagents. Absolutely tons of reagents, including a Drake Talon, all this. We have some ogre blood. Okay, we have that. We have the Remembrance of Life's Warmth. We have Iffin's Cradle. We have these scrolls. We have the gloves that give +1 dex. Yeah, we have 2 sets of Melina's boots. Funny that she had 2 identical sets of magic boots. But they're quite handy. I'm going to have you hold on to those. We have these gloves. You hit or critically hit. Oh, it's just a really good set of gloves. And we have the Lavender Wreath, which provides soothing and irritating. Immunity to sickened and irritating. That can go there for now. Okay, I'm curious about what gloves you're using. You're using Of Might Plus. That's useful. But plus 10% ability area of effect. Does that mean that fireballs will have a wider radius? That's extra defense against stuff. You're currently using the speed boots. You're using 25% against weakened attack. Honestly, just have that. What are you using? Oh, no, absolutely you can have that. Now you're faster. And you could have... Yeah, that seems good. Keep those on you for now. Have I made a mistake doing that? Probably. Probably. But
Yes?
there's not a lot we need to do here right now. And while we could continue the main plot of Pillars of Eternity, we could also go to the White March. Seek information about the army in Stalwart. In my dream, the army came from the White March near Stalwart. Perhaps the residents will know of it. Maybe they will.
I'm here.
Maybe they will. Oh yes, we did use a camping supply, didn't we? I should also switch
Following
you
your
to
lead.
your bow. Let's buy
Yes?
some more camping supplies.
Hail and well met.
Hello. If it can be used to hurt or heal someone, you've got it. Well, I want you to sell me some camping supplies. I also want to buy this pry bar, because you never know when you might need a pry bar. Pry bars are incredibly useful. Very useful indeed. And when we come back, folks, we'll be going back to the White March to see if our dream is as prophetic as I fear it will be. Those eyes are very troubling indeed. Ominous. And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe if you're not. If you are subscribed, press that bell for those notifications. And I'll catch you next time, folks. And I'll see you then. Later.